We have had a lot of representation today of different species, and that's just fabulous to get the mind thinking about all of those different possible interactions and the challenges of them and the joys of them. Which brings us to blessings and prayers, to our joys and challenges, to attend to your joys and challenges. We want to start with two good news, and Phil is also going to open the chat so that you all can put in your good news and the things which you are challenged with and you would like blessings and prayers for. Here is my good news for you all this month. I am happy to report that in the news the last week from In Defense of Animals, the Oakland Zoo will relocate its last elephant, Osh, who is here on the screen, to a sanctuary this fall and then close its elephant exhibit. Yay, fanfare. It becomes the 41st zoo in the United States to close or pledge to close its elephant exhibit. Thank you to our friends at In Defense of Animals, to Lisa and the crew over there, and others who have helped raise awareness of how elephants suffer in zoo captivity. Unlike cows and goats, many of us don't have enough space for elephants. And so we are really, really grateful for those who are able to feed, house, attend to the veterinary care and all of that it takes to assist these elephants. Also, I'm delighted to give you a few Compassion in the World sightings from our animal chaplains. Phil, if you could bring up the next slide. I am so delighted about this. On the left-hand side, you'll see Shel and Lars Pardo, who were featured on the front page of the Daily Herald in Everett, Washington, for their work supporting grieving animals. And this is really of interest to me because this article was on the front page. The headline is your dog or cat grieving? Now, we talk a lot about the grief that we as humans have, but one of the things, and that's very important to attend to, and we do that here, and our chaplains attend to that, but we talk a lot in our program also about the grief that animals have. We just heard about some grief around cows just a few minutes ago when Victoria and Ellie were talking. But that made the front page of this newspaper, which I think is great news, and also highlights the work of Shel and of Lars out there in Washington. On the right-hand side, you'll see Daniel Burek and Elise Marcatulli, who were featured in the Newcastle News in Pennsylvania. They run a veterinary practice. And in addition to running that practice, they're now offering monthly blessed send-off services at First Presbyterian Church. So animals will now be featured year-round at that church, not just at the traditional St. Francis Day offering. I think this is great news, and I love to see our animal chaplains out in the world raising awareness of animal issues and also attending to grief, to loss, and increasing compassion. So I also know there's a lot of stuff going on in the world that I can't have so much excitement about. And I know that some of you are dealing with your own losses or the anniversaries of losses. I'd like to bring into our blessings and prayers Phil's mother. Today is the anniversary of Phil's loss of the transition of his mother. And so just want to hold we hold a special place for Phil in our hearts. We add today his mother, because without his mother, there'd be no Phil. And without any Phil on the bridge right now, this would be a mess trying to put this together. So thank you to Phil's mom, wherever you are in the what's next. Also in the chat, I want to attend a few things. Oh, I love hearing from Debbie and the Gang of Fur. They would like us to please say a little prayer for Olga Fuga and Keith Dixon, people loved by people that Debbie and the Fur Gang love, who recently passed away. Also have very exciting news from Maureen McConaughey, or McConaughey. Bear with me on your last names, folks. Her book, Rescued, a collection of poems about rescued animals, is now available at Amazon. That's awesome. Maureen, put the link in the chat. We can never have enough poetry about rescued animals. Phil's mother's name was Adelaida. Oh, beautiful. Oh, beautiful. Thank you for that. To Jess, who's thinking of the animals in her habitat, who she's come to know, love, and feed for the last 3 years. She moves in 2 weeks, and she's feeling for her adjustment for those wild creatures and her adjustment to life without them. She did a ritual to honor their lives and a blessing for their well-being, continuing beyond her and her time in that habitat. How beautiful. Think about when we move and the grief and loss and the separation that can come with that. Beth asks us to give blessings and hugs to Phil and Phil's mother. Any other blessings or prayers or good news that you have? I'm holding you in my heart, my thoughts. This matters, folks. It matters to attend to these publicly, to attend to these together, to talk about those things we're so happy about and those things that just break our hearts. And from Jeannie Joseph, another one of our animal chaplains, it was her first time helping 2 missing dogs be recovered using animal communication and working with a 3rd dog to help the missing dogs reorient their noses towards home. Awesome. So dogs helping dogs and Jeannie helping dogs helping dogs. 10 minutes after the session, they were found. Awesome. There's so many ways we can communicate with animals. We saw some music communication today. We heard about some cow hug communication and meditation today. We heard about communicating them in the morning and the afternoon. Yeah. Ways to communicate. And for Lars, who I just mentioned in that article, there's a beautiful photo of Lars as Santa Claus. For Mac, beautiful, beautiful canine who lived with Lars until recently and is now in the What's Next. Judy has also been helping a family find sanctuary for their competition horse to retire for life. Yay! And not retire in the way that we don't like horses to retire. Yeah. And finally, to Joe and Derek, 2 senior goats who could use a little healing energy as they deal with their aging bodies. In the spirit of our interspecies practice today, I am sending Joe and Derek some of the good fire, to get them up and goating. Is that a word, Ellen? Goating? If not, I'm going to use it from now on, and I will. Goating, folks, goating. All right. If I did not mention your prayer, you are holding it within you because you don't want it publicly announced. Know that we are here to hold you in your suffering. You can reach out to our animal chaplains at findanimalchaplain.com. Lots of goat puns in the chat, folks. Love them. I'm going to transition us to our final announcements before we head to fellowship. So if you would all join me in our closing prayer for all of those creatures, and goats and cows and foxes and dogs and cats and humans and Ophidia. May all creatures everywhere be happy and free. May the thoughts, words, and actions of our lives contribute to this happiness and this freedom for all. And please add whatever closing word is meaningful to you from your spiritual tradition, whether that be, may it be so. Amen. Amen. So mote it be. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. And with hopes of ahimsa.